your thoughts. And guys, we have one final question for you guys, and this question comes from a Miss Iris people.
Hey, woo, woo,
Hey,
woo, woo.
favorite
Iris.
writer
And
or
Miss
favorite.
Iris, Miss Iris writes, "Hey Alex, is it safe to say that the future of the movie theaters is looking bright again? With
Woo!
everything going back to normal, I've noticed that certain movies are performing well in the box office." Well, thank you for your question, Iris. And I talked about it in a couple episodes to Ask Alex before. My first return back to the theaters was to go see Mortal Kombat, and when I went, my theater in particular wasn't full because it was the Dolby Cinema theater. But Mortal Kombat did pretty well in theaters. I mean, it did well enough to advance a sequel.
Yeah,
Ian said at the top of the show that he's going back to the theaters without going within a little over a year. And Jeremy's been back to the theaters. Well, I think he went to go see New Mutants, right?
I was
Like
at man. I was there all pandemic, just breathing on people.
exactly. So I
He's the
I could
problem.
say, I could say without a shout of a doubt, probably by the end of this year, you're not going to hear any more releases about Disney Premiere Access and HBO movie releases. You'll probably still hear stuff about Paramount Plus because they actually have a deal with the theaters. But as far as Paramount and or any and also Universal as well. But as far as like the major studios, like after this year, I can almost guarantee, and I don't know this for a fact, there will be no more HBO Max exclusive movies
Hmm,
within HBO Max and in the theaters,
it's a good call.
unless like another pandemic happens, which is very possible in the world that we live in. Same thing with Disney Plus. I've heard things that they may not send Black Widow to Disney Plus. They might, but they may not. Like after seeing the numbers of certain movies, like even Ray and the Last Dragon did well. It did. I mean, I didn't watch that movie. I still haven't seen that movie yet. So me personally, I think that going back to the theaters is becoming more of an experience now. Um, I will say that I was wrong in saying earlier that the theaters will be gone by the wayside. I was clearly wrong in saying that. But what do you guys think, Jeremy? What do you think about the theaters coming back? And do you think that the streaming service, these exclusive movies, will be on streaming and on theaters? Do you think that that will come to an end?
I think our good friend Ian can tell you for sure that the future is looking bright. I'm looking at Robinhood right now, and over the
Yeah.
last year,
It's not looking bright. It's looking green, my brother. It's
oh,
Mm.
looking
good, yeah,
green.
yeah, yeah, good. It's gone up 1,100%. The value market shares for AMC Entertainment. So like right now, it is just climbing so
Had to check.
dramatically fast. This happened within the last few months. I mean, obviously, it was up in the last 3 months 630%. So people are starting to go back, and that's why there was a lot of good investment opportunities for people. Like right at the beginning of this, like you knew cruise lines were going to eat crap, so you buy into Carnival Cruises and different, you know what I mean? Movie
Mhm.
theaters. You know that people are going to eventually go back. Airlines, people aren't traveling now, but eventually they're going to travel. So anyways, that's a whole other thing, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting thought experiment. What Alex said about not continuing with that business model. I do remember when Warner Brothers and HBO said this is a year-long proposal. So they didn't intend on doing it indefinitely then, right? So the
Right.
fact is that time frame is up, and now it's time to either go back to normal or continue to do it. And to Alex's point, they're not going to just leave money on the table. Like if you
Yeah.
can keep people in the theaters to pay those exorbitant ticket prices, and then help that industry, because yes, it is expensive, but we all love that experience. I feel like it would behoove the big companies, the Disneys and all of that, to pull back together, just kind of all make the stance, do away with that business model. Consumers are going to be pissed, but what are we going to do about it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I agree with everything what Jeremy said. If there's money on the table, why not explore that? That's why I'm hoping that Dune does not make it to HBO Max. That Dune
Good
has a
call.
full theater run because I really want to see that franchise. And what do you think about the theaters being bright. And also, if you want to share with the world, you know, what the success that you've had in investing AMC, like, what do you think about this stuff coming back to normal?
Well, I'm gonna knock on wood because I don't want that shit to just plummet when I go to sleep. But right now, man. Actually, to echo what Jeremy said, if you are into stocks, everything that's went down, and I'm someone that went to the movie theater like every week. So like I'm just a fan of film. I'm just a fan of the cinema. So like that not only was this just for a personal investment for me, but just to support the culture of it. That's why I invested into them. And
yeah.
AMC is definitely restructuring their blueprint. They want to bring people back. So of course they can't do the same things that they used to. Of course, it's a new world after the pandemic. So they've gone back to square one. And I think a lot of not just AMC, but a lot of theaters are trying to get people back into theaters. And I think people want to go back to the theaters. You know, there was the time where we were talking about the streaming services all just going to streaming forever. People immediately were like, nah, man, I need the experience of a theater. You know, I can binge shit all day, but like just the atmosphere of a theater is just like, it's just great. I would say it's going to come back to normal, but I also want to say this. If you want it to come back to normal, please support it. You know, movie theaters come out. Don't watch that shit at home. Go out with your family like you used to,
That's
man,
right.
and support it. Go to the AMC specifically, and go there and watch as much movies as you want, and you know, have a great time. And we'll go back to normal, and hopefully, you know, with restructures, we might even get a better experience. You know, because they are trying to give you a better experience every time. So yes, go to specifically AMC and have a good time.
Yes.
By the way,
yes.
this episode of Ask Alex was sponsored by AMC. So if you guys want to invest in Momentum Media, please just send me an email. I'm sure you guys have my information. But yes, I agree with Ian. He's absolutely right. Make this an experience, and I guarantee you, majority of this stuff will come back to normal in terms of going back to the theaters. Thank you for your question, Iris.